We've had a street zone tied with a house, but you can't think of it as a street zone anymore. We don't actually have, when you talk to Laura, you'll understand that street zones are kind of a thing of the past. We've renovated how we're doing the street program. And the AMC Walking Dead is more of an experience than a house tied to a street. Every 45 minutes, when the cast changes out, we won't tell you how they do it, but in the street, you'll be bombarded with 75 walkers in a herd every 45 minutes. So for our guests, and they won't know when it's coming because we've got different times that our characters are going to break. So you never know when, but a herd will actually be encroaching in from both sides, which is something that show is not only known for, but we had to pay it off in that way because it's that important. It's very cool. I'm excited because we've never had that mass of people on the streets. Usually if you go into a scare zone in the past, 20, 30 maybe, but we're more than doubling that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And with the makeup design from Nicotero, with working with KNB hand in hand on the design process, it's going to be lifelike. That's all I can say. It's going to be great. There's no break from the house to the street. We purposely built walls to make sure that you are funneled directly from the house with no break in the thematic until you actually get dumped out and you've got a horde staring at you waiting for you. One great thing about working with Greg is that because we had base masks that were approved through KNBFX, now we can individualize those. So every single walker is identifiable by saying, oh, that's that walker, or that's that walker for iconic pieces, but all the rest of them, you'll see, you can look at them and go, I think I remember the episode that walker came from, or that walker came from that episode. Everything from Jawless Girl to Bicycle Girl to Well Walker to Deer Eater, and although commonplace people might not know what those are because they haven't seen it from the show, fans of the show are going to know exactly immediately who those walkers are.
Well Walker is disgusting.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. When we received the latex mold from K&B in the mail, we opened up the box like it was Christmas. We're like, we pull it out, and it was still wet. And it was just like, yeah! I mean, it was so fresh. They'd shipped it within a matter of a couple of hours. So it was like, yeah, basically grabbed it, threw it in a box, put it on a plane, and it arrived. And it was still curing. And it was just like, yes, I can't wait to play with it. It's fun. No boundaries, no safe zones, no place is sacred. Stores, restaurants, sidewalks. It used to be that you would go up to almost a portal. Restaurants? Uh-oh.
He's getting the nod. He's getting the shake.
You'll have to wait and see. Yes, I'll say that. You'll have to wait and see what we do. Yes, but it used to be that you'd come to a barrier almost in the street as you walk through Hollywood or Central Park. You knew where the scare zones were going to be, so people could skirt them. They could get around them. But with our program this year, you can't get away from our legions. They're going to come after you. There is no place that's safe. Which is wonderful. It's a wonderful idea. And in execution, we're basically taking the amount of actors that you used to see on the street, and there's going to be a lot more bodies out there. And I'm not just talking us, I'm talking the victims, because all the people that are coming into the event are going to get dealt with. It's going to be fun. That's one of the exciting parts about the properties that we're using. When working with them, because we worked hand in hand with Penn and Teller, we worked with Konami, we worked with Open Road Films, we worked with Alice Cooper, we worked with The Walking Dead, and being able to work with all of those people, we found that it was such a collaborative process. They would come to us and they would say, okay, The Walking Dead, here's thousands of photo references from the set in Georgia where we're shooting on AMC's The Walking Dead. And then we got to kind of hand pick and it's like a kid in a candy store. And you're like, okay, we want this scene and we want this scene because we know not only is it iconic, but also it's a scary moment from the show. So how do we give it the Horror Nights twist? Well, when working with Penn and Teller, we said, okay, it's nuked Vegas. How do we make it disgusting? How do we give it that flair that people are going to expect? How do we make it realistic and movie-like? Because it's one of the things that I'm sure people are aware of when they come to Halloween Horror Nights, if they've been before, they understand that it's not enough for us to give you something to look at as you walk through the maze. It needs to be 360 degrees. We need to affect your sense of smell. We need to affect you visually. We need to affect the auditory. We need to affect you physically as you're walking through the space and affect your personal, that personal safe zone that you have. So once you do that, everything else gets paid off. It's great. It's a lot of fun. She is out and about full force. And what's really funny is that we're working on that And then we saw the trailer for Recall.
Total Recall, yeah.
And we saw it and we're like, no, it was ours. And then we're like, they had to throw it in, of course.
Yeah.